From Komando.com, it's your tech news today for Friday, July 13th. And coming up in just a bit, devious hackers are selling the records of dead people to anyone who will buy them on the dark web. Plus, there have been numerous data breaches at popular U.S. retail locations over the past year. We've documented 15 of them. And a new rideshare service has local residents up in arms, claiming it's a menace to society. All that and more in tech news today from the digital world of Kim Komando. We start with another disturbing story from the dark web. You know that identity theft is a thriving underground business, so much so that millions of Americans have their identities stolen every year. It's the fastest growing crime in the country. Well, it turns out that hackers aren't just preying on the living, they're also targeting the dead. According to a report from the Threat Post, selling stolen medical records of dead people is one of the fastest growing businesses on the dark web. Patient records that have been lifted off data breaches and unauthorized intrusions into healthcare systems are being sold to any willing buyer. However, the more medical records that are stolen and saturate the market, the less value those records have. This makes sense with the staggering number of data breaches happening all the time. That's why criminals are turning to more specialized types of stolen data that command a higher price, including records of dead people. You might be wondering why their records are worth more. That's a good question. It's because stolen records of the deceased can be used for fraudulent activity that could go unnoticed for years if it's discovered at all. Crooks use their information to open up credit card accounts, apply for loans, get phone contracts, and more. And to learn more about this creepy underground business, go to Komando.com and search for Dark Web Alert. We have more tech news just ahead, but now a quick thank you to our partners at Udemy.
If you know anything at all about me, you know I'd love a great podcast, like the one you're listening to right now. And not only do I get to host a couple of podcasts every week, I'm also a big podcast listener. Podcasts allow me to go deeper into subjects, which is why podcasts are incredible tools for not only entertainment, but also learning. So let me turn you on to Udemy. What's your passion? At Udemy, you can learn anything. And when I say anything, I'm telling you that Udemy offers more than 65,000 courses on, well, anything. And it's the largest space for online learning. It has something truly for everyone. You want to become a better investor, photographer, gardener, writer, or maybe teacher? How about web developer or something really different? Maybe tarot cards. You'll find it at Udemy. But what if you're an expert on something? Maybe you're an expert photographer or teacher. Then sign up as a Udemy instructor. You can earn money and sell your class right from their website.
Get started from anywhere, your smartphone, tablet, or computer. That's ude.my/today. Right now, get 90% off when you sign up for classes. That's ude.my/today. More top tech news making headlines right now. Data breaches are all over the headlines. There seems to be another massive breach every week, and in fact, since 2017, at least 15 notable retailers were hacked, with customers' information likely being taken from each and every one of these breaches. The levels of the data stolen and the ramifications vary, but if you happen to shop or dine at any of them and you had some bad luck, one of the largest breaches from the past year happened at national fast food chain Arby's. In February of 2017, it was discovered that hundreds of Arby's locations were infected with malware. It resulted in at least 355,000 customers' credit and debit card information being stolen. That's just one example of the major breaches on record. There are numerous others. In fact, we've put together a list of 15 retail locations where you might have been victimized and don't even know about it yet. So to see the full list, go to Komando.com and search for 15 stores where your data may have been stolen. Have you ever used a rideshare company like Uber or Lyft? If so, you know just how convenient they can be. The rideshare business model has been so successful that it's also been implemented with bicycles. Simply find a bike share location, scan a barcode with the app, and you're hitting the trails in no time. Well, now, select cities across the country are being overrun by a new type of rideshare. We're talking about electric scooters. That's right, startup companies are populating cities with e-scooters that can be rented by the hour at extremely cheap prices. The problem is, these scooters are not stored at docking stations. Users rent them wherever they find them, and you guessed it, then they dump them when they're finished riding, wherever they end up. Local residents are outraged. They say the scooters are not only an eyesore, but also a danger to pedestrians. At a recent city council meeting in California, one resident said he's seen one person riding two scooters at the same time, crashing into people that were walking along the trail. Others said bikers are running into scooters that have been dumped along a bike trail, causing them to crash. They probably aren't going away anytime soon, though. One of the first scooter rideshare companies already raised $400 million over the last year. Investors are jumping on board like you wouldn't believe, hoping this turns into the next Uber. It could be another convenient and fun travel option if done right, but as of now it seems to be just a menace to society. By the way, don't you need a motorcycle license to ride a scooter? We have to check into that. Here's a quirky story you're going to love. We've seen smart technology added to many devices like refrigerators, TVs, and watches. All of those make sense, but did you know that smart technology can also improve bandages? Researchers at Tufts University are creating bandages that will not only be able to keep track of how a wound is progressing, but also be able to provide treatment as necessary. The idea is to increase the healing rate, which can be done by having improved methods of applying medication and other therapies. It's still in development, but when it's ready, it will be able to monitor many things, including temperature, pH of a wound, and if it were to detect a change in either, the bandage would be able to diagnose the issue and dispense medication that the bandage would then have inside of it, I guess. The bandage would then continue to monitor the treatment and determine if other steps are necessary while providing real-time status updates to a doctor in a different location. How cool is that? Popular fitness tracking app Polar Flow has been reported to be inadvertently exposing the locations and sensitive information of military and intelligence personnel with its global activity map. The app apparently has a flaw in its privacy settings that allows anyone to snoop on the location data of its users, and worse yet, use that information to gather their real names and addresses. According to a Dutch website, Polar Flow's Explore global map can keep track of a user's activity over several years, since each user can be identified with the activity. Anyone can use their exposed name and city to figure out where they live, so this is definitely a national security problem. To learn all the frightening details, go to Komando.com and search for Polar Flow. For all the good that good passwords do, what's required to set up and maintain them has gotten a bit out of hand over the years. At least one study shows that's how people feel about it. Researchers found that of 2,000 U.S. adults questioned, 81% didn't see a need for what they considered to be unnecessary security procedures. Also, 47% said they were sick of having to use endless security questions whenever calling customer service departments, while 64% are upset at having to create elaborate, complicated passwords that feature a mix of numbers, symbols, and capital letters. 48% of those in the survey don't even like using two-factor authentication. Of course, some of those things can seem tedious and stressful, but let's face it, security is too important to ignore. The problem is people want to be secure, but expect it to be at their convenience, and life doesn't always work that way. However, there are easier ways to create and maintain strong passwords. Go to Komando.com and search "I changed the way I deal with passwords," and you'll see how Kim takes care of this issue. We're only a couple short days from one of the biggest online shopping events of the year. Of course, we're talking about Amazon Prime Day. This year, it's actually a day and a half. It begins at 3 p.m. on Monday, July 16th, and then goes through Tuesday, July 17th. If you're a Whole Foods shopper, you should even be more excited because Whole Foods was acquired by Amazon last year, and the company has announced some fantastic deals that you'll find during the Prime Day at Whole Foods locations across the country. In fact, you can take advantage of one deal right now. If you're an Amazon Prime member and spend at least $10 in one visit at a Whole Foods between July 11th and July 17th, you'll automatically receive a $10 credit to spend on Prime Day. The credit will automatically be added to your Amazon account when you scan your Whole Foods or Amazon app when checking out at the Whole Foods register. For more great savings, go to Komando.com and search for Amazon Prime Day Now includes Whole Foods. Finally, for today's Komando Kicker, a man in Massachusetts felt pretty lucky this week and decided to play the same lottery numbers 9 times. He won $900,000. He bought 4 tickets in West Bridgewater, then had a gut feeling about his numbers. They were 1, 7, 11, 26, 30, and then bought 2 more just for good luck, and 2 more at another store, and 1 final ticket elsewhere. 1 ticket went to his son, and 1 to his daughter, and then each hit for $100,000. While his children are going to use their winnings to pay off student loans, he's going to pay off his mortgage on his house and then save the rest. It's not going to change too much for us, he said. We've heard that before. That's our tech news today, and special thanks to our partners at LastPass.
Security starts with strong passwords, but the problem with passwords is that there are just so many of them. I've said for years, you need a unique password for every single website you use. For me, that would be more than 100 different passwords. Who can remember 100 passwords? I can't. Most of us use just 1 or 2 passwords for everything, which explains why cyber thieves and hackers are running wild. Do what I did. Take the LastPass Security Challenge. It's an online tool that rates the strength of all your passwords. LastPass will find your weak passwords, and you can change them all for free. LastPass is great for families, teams, and even large businesses. Quickly generate strong passwords and store them all in a personal, secure LastPass vault. LastPass remembers all your passwords so you don't have to. Give yourself a fighting chance. Go to LastPass.com/Kim and start your free trial right now. That's LastPass.com/Kim for your free trial.